Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khush Amdeed. Ji ayanu. Goedemorgen.
Pakhair
Hola.
Agale, Ni Hao, Chura Shumme, Washbale, Ohio Gozaimas, Guten Morgen, Hola, Boyor, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hala Shuma Chatore, Alan Vasalan, Marhaba, Buna, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into BTV World and are watching World this morning, alongside the very talented, the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza, how are you today?
I am absolutely fine. How are you?
I'm absolutely perfect, and slowly, I think that you've actually taken over all my hellos and highs too as well.
No, I just added Ola today. I'm so sorry.
Why would you add Ola today?
We will find out in the second segment though, but
Okay.
also because I remember Dora the Explorer. I used to watch a lot of it and you used to teach Spanish words.
All right. So the other day, I'm sorry that since you brought up Dora. So the other day I went to a toy shop with my daughter, and she said that I wanted a pram, and she wanted a pram with a doll. So we went. And she saw the pram, but unfortunately, within the pram, there was Dora lying over there. And all of a sudden, she was like, I don't want this pram because I don't like Dora. And I was like, thank God somebody does not like Dora, man. So that's great. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason why I was actually discussing my daughter with you guys was that, that the amount of love I have for her is beyond expressing. It's beyond words.
But,
And
you know,
it's,
yeah,
yeah, go
please
ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just
So when
getting
you're
a bit
talking about,
emotional.
yeah, I know. So when you're talking about your daughter, of course, she's very precious to you. I mean, the precious most
Yeah,
thing in the world, right? So when she grows up, inshallah, you would make no compromises in her studies, in providing her with the best education, with the best facilities and everything, and probably buy her everything that she needs as well, without probably discriminating that if she was a son, I would have given her more. Is that true?
Exactly, that's true. And I've got one more thing to share, and that was that so every time when unfortunately she had to be on formula milk.
Okay. Okay.
So every time I would go to the market, I will prefer buying an imported pack of milk. Or I mean, this is how fathers can show love.
Yeah.
And her mother would go and buy a local one. It's not about local or imported, but as a matter of fact, it is about how you prioritize. And if we go back in time, we still know that there were times when there wasn't plenty food to eat. So our parents will give up on their food so that their
True.
daughters and son can have it. So today, ladies and gentlemen, on 11th of October, it's a very important day because
Because, okay, today we are observing Girl Child Day all across the globe, and officially it was recognized by the UN in 2012. And before that,
exactly before that, so there was this organization with the name of Plan International. They came up with the idea. The idea was titled differently, but then what they did was that they went to the Canadian federal government, and then they said that if we can probably have more partners, and then United Nations join hand as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about International Girl Child Day, what does it mean? So now talking about that, it means that that the girl child actually needs to have the right to education, and she shouldn't be married at a very younger age, unfree child marriages as well. And then other than that, then there's like legal rights as well. Then
so
there's gender
basically,
inequality, education, nutrition.
right.
So all of these things are being focused under this day.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you say, the girls, we're talking about girls' rights. In a nutshell, we're basically talking about girls' rights to self-determination and the right to their own life, because although we keep saying that, we support feminism and we empower women and everything, but there are still segments of different societies in so many other countries in the world, including Pakistan, where they do not recognize the basic human rights that girls deserve to have.
Exactly,
I mean, like men do.
And Shiza, the only reason why we bring such topics or we observe such days is to raise awareness. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, last time when I was preparing, it was very sad for me to actually have come across a documentary where there were people in a graveyard, and they said that almost 30 to 40 young girl child bodies were found.
Oh my God.
So imagine the state of affairs. I feel very sorry for those parents too as well. They might have been under circumstances where they couldn't afford, or probably they might have their own issues. But I think we need to raise awareness. We need to tell them
Absolutely.
that whether a boy, whether a girl, they add the same quality to your life too as well, and then they're going to bring back the same amount of stuff your boy is going to bring back, because I think that these are the core issues we need to highlight. But with us, we've been joined by very apt guests, who both are ladies. They are going to let us know how they can be a profitable, or not even profitable, why do we even have to think about that? That they're going to be very pivotal within our own society, and then they're going to play their role.
Yeah.
Because everybody has got a role to play. So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's a motivational speaker. She's a YouTuber. She's a teacher as well. She's none other than Miss Mehroz Aziz. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I am good. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. And alongside Miss Mehroz Aziz, we have been joined by Rubab Zara, who's actually here in the capacity of a girl child, and she's actually going to let the world know how things are and how things need to change. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam.
Thank you very much for joining us. So let me get the conversation started with Mehroz first of all. So Mehroz, prior to starting the show, you were telling me that you know a lot of figures. So I want you first of all to give away all the figures so that people will know how things are within our own country.
They know a better idea of what's actually going on.
Sure. So I was studying one thing, and one thing I got to know is that 62 million girls worldwide have no access to education. And did you know that 5 to 14 years girls spend their 1,000 hours and 100 hours into house chores?
Okay.
Like compared to boys. What happened to boys? Boys educate, boys are playing outside, boys are having fun, but girls are actually doing their chores. Now what parents are doing is they're telling their girls that you should stay at home because you don't really need education. What will you do? You will go and settle down somewhere to a place, to a house. You don't need an education to represent yourself. Well, they're telling their sons that you need an education. Why? Because you need to
Run the
yeah,
family.
exactly. You need to run your family. But the point is that right now in the 21st century, the rights are equal, and girls don't really know that what their rights. In the middle class family, even in elite class family, there are so many girls who prefer not to study and stay at home.
But Mehroz, I have to say, I feel like it's not that they don't know their rights. They do know their rights, but they're probably scared of the responses that they're going to get if they ask for their rights.
True that. Some people do know their rights, but some people don't really. And what happens that some people choose to stay at home rather than study outside. Because I've seen so many people, they have funds, they have money, they can study if they want to, but they're not. Why? Because they think that what will education do to me? What benefits will I gain from it? I'll stay at home and I'll have a husband and I'll run my family. My husband will run the household. Why do I need to study? But this is not the point actually. What is happening right now, girls do not really know how to face people, how to talk with people, how to interact with people. And that is when a discrimination gaps come in, because parents are not really encouraging girls. They're actually encouraging boys to go outside, explore themselves, find new places, find new horizons to do something, right? But they're not really encouraging girls to do something.
So yes, I totally agree with what you're saying, but of course there are certain parents or certain families who actually do the quite opposite. So it's a very small example of what happened in my house. So I have only one brother, mashallah, and obviously all of us
Don't
love
tell
him.
me he was the fifth one.
Oh no, he's in the middle.
Okay,
Two
that's
girls,
right.
a brother. And
So that's good.
Yeah. So what my mom, obviously she loves him more than she loves anyone else in the world. So whenever he comes to our place, he's always like, oh Shazapi, do this, do that. To which I'm like, I'm not going to do your chores. You have to do them yourself. And my mom's like, एक ही भाई है, कर दो कुछ नहीं होता. To which my dad's always to the rescue. He's like, no, everyone's going to do their own chores. To which I absolutely love the idea of equality.
I guess
and
your father belongs to armed forces.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, that's great. See? Okay, that's
Okay,
cool.
but moving on to Rubab, just a while ago when we started the show, she actually mentioned something that she's personally faced, and I'm pretty sure all of us have as well.
True.
You said that girls are judged more than they should be and more than boys are. How so?
Like people think that they're just walking Barbie dolls, and they never got a position in any fields of life, and they're kind of.
Do you even feel that in your school probably, that boys are given more opportunities
Yes,
than girls?
exactly.
Yeah,
They're they're always on the first, in sports and in any kind of activities. They're on the first.
Okay, but I think that over here, what we need to discuss is that we need to discuss the core issues. So obviously, physically, men and women are different.
Yeah, true.
But in terms of, for example, adding up, or in terms of working, in terms of capacity building and capabilities, we can never ever judge both the genders too.
True.
So now, the core issue over here is that we actually need to convince all of those parents who are out there that, we need to tell them that, daughters aren't burden if they are given the opportunity. And how do you think that, all of us can actually play a role in letting people know that, this is not right, we need to change things? How do you think it will happen, and how long will it take?
Okay, so for me, the most important thing is talk to your child. Parents should talk. What is happening right now, we have a communication gap between parents, child, teacher and supervisors and
Right.
so much more.
Okay.
There is a communication gap which lets us to understand that something is happening and it's not really wrong because our parents never told us about it. Now what girls are going through is parents don't talk about certain things,
Right.
and girls don't really know if it's right or if it's wrong. They think that it might be right, we can just do it, and they just do that. So parents should talk about certain things, certain topics. They should tell them that, you know, what is sexual harassment, what is
Right,
rape,
absolutely,
what should we do when we grow up, how should we treat ourselves, if people are judging us, what should we do, how
So
should
there's
we
a
face
communication
people?
gap, actually.
Exactly. We don't really talk. We just say things, but we can't really
No,
talk.
but okay, even if we do not talk, that does not really encompasses the topic where it's International Girls Child Day as well. Because of the fact, I think that the issues we might like to highlight are, for example, if a lady gets married,
Yeah.
and her first or second, birth is a daughter. So the third time, because we were discussing it yesterday as well about mental illnesses, postpartum depression, where women are stressed because of the fact that in-laws are pushing them to have a baby boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, what we need to tell the world is, why baby boy? Why not baby girl?
I
How
think,
do we do that?
I think awareness is not right there. We are not educated about this. The world don't talks about this. We are only talking about what is wrong with girls. Why don't we talk about what can we do for girls? What can we do so we can encourage girls to come out and do the same thing? They're like, there are no training courses for that. There are no educational institute which teach us, what should we do if we stand right here. So I think
So I think this is something which I'm going to ask Rubab. So Rubab, how do you think that you're going to be one of those member of the family who, for when your parents are going to take a gaze at you, they'll be like, thank God, Allah gave me a daughter, and even if it would have been a son, it would have been no difference.
There shouldn't be any difference between boys and girls, because and you were saying that girls are burdened. No, nowadays when people are educated,
I
and
never
now
said that, though.
No, you did say
People
that, yeah.
think.
Yeah.
People think so. Now how like people are educated, people are getting education, so now people know that what's the rights of girl and how there should be any standing of girls in the society. So obviously it's getting better day by day. So obviously when we'll get education, obviously first when it was like in past, people weren't educated and they didn't know about the rights of women, how to respect people, how to respect girls.
But I've
No.
seen people who are not very happy at the birth of their girl child. So what do we do about that? And
This still
how do we
exists.
do it? And I think I'm going to share one of my own experiences too, ladies and gentlemen, over here. That for the very first time, Alhamdulillah, Allah Pak, when He blessed me with a baby daughter. So what happened was that people actually came up to me, and in fact, other than congratulating, they had very different expressions. And I'm talking about urban elite or probably middle class as well, for people from all walks of life. Everybody had the same expression. I was like, what happened to you? What's wrong with you? So,
You
and
must
they
be
were
so
like,
upset because-
probably next time and this. And I was like, what are you
even?
even talking about?
That's true.
So how do we change this mindset? Because it's instilled within our own values and culture. It has been a part of our culture. How do we get rid of that?
I mean, although it is the 21st century, right? So some of the people that have actually gotten educated and probably moved out do have a different idea of all of this. But most of the populace in Pakistan, actually believes what Shahzad just said. So how do we change that?
okay.
Or do you think we're able to?
I think it will take a lot of time because with time, as time is moving, things are changing, but they're not really fast. They're going slow and slow, but they're going steady. So there are a lot of training centers now, there are a lot of educationists who tell us that, girls are not a burden. Girls are something we should look forward to.
Right.
So I think it is changing, but obviously it will take time because it's a huge thing, and it's not only in our society, it's actually in our country. It's all over the world now. So I think it's catering slowly, but it will take some time.
So since you are a teacher yourself,
Yeah.
since you're a teacher yourself, and I do not know which class you teach. Which class do you teach? By the way?
Second grade and third.
Second grade and third grade. So I hope that it's co-education too as
Yeah,
well. So
it
there
is
are
a
boys and
co-education,
girls.
yeah.
How do you make sure that everybody gets the same attention?
So what happened is when I teach, girls are like, I don't want to sit with boys, and boys are like, I don't want to sit with girls. So they have this thing that, I cannot sit with him or I cannot sit with her.
Right.
What I do is I make them sit together and I make them do group work. So they know how to work together. They're like friends, obviously. But somehow I have learned that their parents tell them that, you know, they should sit separately. Why? Because they don't feel comfortable sitting like that. And so many parents come to me and they tell me that please make our child sit separately. Why? Because they don't feel comfortable with a boy or a girl.
And I think that they're right to some extent as well, because I'm not saying that, you know, I'm against the idea that they should be doing some work together as well, but there have been different cases, you know, there have been articles in news as well where, you know, things went differently as well, and I do not even know how to explain it. So I think it's the teacher's job to keep an eye, and if the teacher's actually trying to, you know, get them to work in a group, I think that's a better idea. So the parents actually need to trust the teachers as well.
But you know, all's not the same. I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but all's not the same all across the globe. Or let's say I'm talking about Pakistan particularly. So yes, there exist places like, you know, Sabat and other places where women are not even allowed to go out to probably educate themselves on a primary or secondary level.
Yeah.
But there are women like Malala who stood up against all of that and then, you know, supported the cause of girl education. But coming to you, Rabab, you know, people like this exist actually. So you being the only girl in your family, being the only child as well, right? You're lucky, first of all. But where do you see yourself, let's say a few years down the lane, do you actually see yourself taking up the responsibility of proving that your parents were right in providing you with all the quality education and everything?
I'll prove myself that I'm gonna get good education after in future, and
It's all right, take your time.
Okay, okay.
and
What do you want to do in life?
What do you aspire to be in the future?
I'm very ambitious about doing engineering, material engineering.
Okay, wow. And your parents support you for that?
Yeah.
Well, that's great,
My
right?
mom is engineer, so that's
Oh,
why she
wow. That's
always
brilliant.
always said that you're gonna be an engineer.
Okay, so this is something which is very interesting. Now, since your mom was an engineer and she wants to be you to be an engineer, this is what happens with girls most of the time. This is what we are raising awareness about. That, you know, we force them to do what we think is right for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So, are you still going to be an engineer? I'm sorry, Auntie Ji, she's in this.
Maybe
the
she really
MCRT
wants
as
to be.
well.
Maybe.
So you want to be an engineer
Yeah,
yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, she asked my mom asked me that what do you want to be? So I said, yes, I'll be like you. I'll be engineer.
So she's your role model. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
true.
natural,
That's
right?
great. Thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely being in
Absolutely.
conversation with you guys. But towards the end, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose, the sole purpose to highlight this day and to observe this day was for all those ladies out there, for all those women out there, for all those girl child out there, that you have your own rights. Please make sure that you practice them, and you do not need your father, brother, or cousin to actually make you or help you practice all of your fundamental rights. Please don't do that. Please don't think like that. There are law enforcement agencies. You can take help from them
Yes,
too as well. Do
absolutely.
not worry, or you know, what will the family say? The family will actually see you rise, and then they will say good things. Don't worry about that.
That's
All we need to
true.
do is write,
Empower yourself.
have you know, we need to have our, you know, we need to utilize our own rights, fundamental rights, and we need to work that way. So please make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you
Empower
practice
yourself,
that.
support each other, everyone around you. And, you know, when every single one of us actually tries to, let's say, take a look at the fact in a very positive way that girls are actually equal to, let's say, boys or their male counterparts in every single way, that is when we're actually headed towards a probably more prosperous society. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we're going to head out to a short break because when we come back, we're talking about something interesting.
Yeah, because right now we were raising awareness about girl child as well, but when you guys are going to come back, we're going to raise awareness about how many beautiful places we have over here in Pakistan to visit, especially when people come across the borders to enjoy and be our guests. So let's do that. Good morning.
Stay tuned.
From 1947 to 1948, Initially, Pakistan used Indian coins and notes with Pakistan stamped on them. In 1948, finally Pakistan issued its first currency note. In 1953, State Bank of Pakistan issued banknotes of rupees 5, 10 and 100. In 1957, rupees 5, rupees 10 and rupees 100 notes were redesigned and reprinted. In 1957, State Bank of Pakistan added rupees 50 note. In 1965, rupees 500 notes were added. In 1967, all the notes were redesigned and reprinted. In 1981, Government of Pakistan once again changed design of Rupee 1 note. In 1986, State Bank of Pakistan reintroduced Rupees 2 note. Rupees 500 note was changed and
Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday, I'm assuming, and we're almost nearing the weekend, thus we're very excited. And for all those who just joined in the first segment, we were talking about Girl Child Day as we're observing all across the globe today.
Yeah.
And in the second segment, this is going to be very exciting because actually Shahzad and I are going to be in conversation with...
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, there's one person I need to wish a very happy birthday.
Yes.
And she's my eldest sister, and you know, the one younger to her, she had a birthday on 9th, so she's going to complain that you didn't wish me. So both of you, you know, you're a very important part of our lives, and you've taught us to be who we are, and you made sure that, you know, when we were going to school, since you were the eldest, you made us study, even though I never did. But I wish you best of luck, and I want you to be just like the way you are, and be the very happiest
What are the
member
names?
or part of the family too as well. So Happy Sadia and Happy Amber,
Happy birthday.
All right, so without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, on my right hand side, we've been joined by people from across the borders. One is from Argentina, the other is from New Zealand. The one who's from New Zealand came here to do his medical electives, but spent 1 month roaming around in Pakistan. And other than that, you know, the lady who's joined us from Argentina, this is her 20th different country on this globe.
Wow.
And she's loved being over here in Pakistan. How were their experiences? This
Let's
is
talk
something
about
we
it.
will be talking about. On my right-hand side, we have been joined by Stefania Fiorentino.
Yeah.
Hola. Hello, how are you?
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum
Walaikum
assalam. Thank you very much for joining us. And alongside Stefania, we have been joined by Edward Harry, who's from New Zealand as well. Hello, Edward. How are you? Walaikum assalam. Kya haal hai? Theek hai?
Yes, bro.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So let's get the conversation started.
Yes, with
Who
the-
told you about Pakistan?
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you
Well-
find out?
Well, guys, actually, this trip is not something fixed. Like, I started and I was like doing every day. I was discovering something new. How I'm traveling now is not as I started when I came from Argentina. So every country that I was discovering opened me the eyes that, okay, we have something nice.
Okay, so you did not
A new
actually plan
challenge.
to go to Pakistan when you were leaving from Argentina?
No,
and then you
no,
saw...
no,
Okay.
no, never. I mean, it's everything new, you know?
So are
So
you
how-
trying to say that you left Argentina and you've been to these 20 countries in one go?
Yes.
Really?
Yes,
And
yes,
this is
yes.
your 20, so you haven't been back home for how long?
19 months.
19
my
months you're just traveling?
Don't you get
Wow.
homesick?
Not yet.
But that's
Not
cool,
yet.
right? That's cool. You're always exploring something new.
Yeah,
So when
every
you-
day is something new, you know, new people, new places.
Right, right.
And like same here in Pakistan, every day is something new.
And you're enjoying over here, right?
lot, a lot.
That's great. So let me move on to Edward. So Edward, first things first. So you need to tell me, for somebody from New Zealand picks up Pakistan to do his medical electives, what kind of a reason would you give me? You know?
Yeah, this is the famous question. It was a blank spot on the map for me. I was doing some mountaineering in New Zealand, and this old man, he told me these stories of him trying to climb K2,
Okay.
the famous mountain here in
Yeah.
Pakistan,
Yeah.
in the 1980s, and he didn't make it to the summit. But he said the best thing about the whole expedition was the people of Pakistan, you know, in Askadu and Ascole, and he recommended, oh, you should go there if you ever get the chance. And for our medical elective, we can go anywhere in the world. So I just thought, I will go to this place where no one has been. And
But did you just got lucky that you actually came down to Islamabad? Because usually people over here say that Pakistan starts outside 50 kilometers of Islamabad. So and Islamabad being the second best capital in the world, you know. So did you just got lucky, or how was it when you landed over here?
when I landed, it was crazy because I landed on August 14th,
Okay.
which is the
Independence Day, right.
But I didn't know this. No one told me. And I left the airport, and there's people out there, cars with flags,
Flags
going,
in it, right.
going absolutely crazy. And I thought this was just a normal day, so I was like, what is going on? But
Okay, okay,
yeah,
that's
I got
great.
very lucky. The kind Professor Rizwan Taj of psychiatry was my invitation here. So
Okay.
it was difficult to find from New Zealand someone in
Yeah.
Pakistan to make a connection with. So.
But did you feel like there was probably a communication gap between you and the people over here, or was it easy to talk to them?
So I'm in PIMS, the hospital, and all the doctors can speak English very well.
Right.
So of course that's good for me. But in terms of the people around Pakistan, you have so many different languages.
Exactly. Even we don't know.
72 in total.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
this blew my mind because of course I'm trying to learn some words, and I was riding my motorbike and I learned some words, and then I go for a few hours.
What are
and
the
I'm
words
like,
you want to share with us?
I learned in many different languages,
Okay.
like in Pashto, how to say raza, which means come here.
Come, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chalo, chalo.
Yeah, chalo, let's go. But then you drive to the next city and you can't understand because the language has
And yeah,
changed.
It's different, right? Absolutely.
Okay, that's different. Let me just move back to Stephania over here. So this is your 20th country. That's fine. Where have you been in Pakistan, and what cuisines have you tasted so far?
Well, in Pakistan, actually, it's my 11th day.
11th day, okay.
Yes, but most of the time because I'm traveling by land, I came here through Iran.
Okay.
So
okay.
all this border crossing was crazy.
You came by road, right?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly,
okay.
exactly. So from the border till Quetta,
Quetta, yes.
I was escorted by police. So
Okay.
it was almost 5 days like this. So during that time, I couldn't visit anything, just the desert.
Okay.
yes,
Desert.
yes. Fortunately, the police that was with me was super cool. Like, yes, really kind. So I feel really comfortable.
So, okay, so you stayed in Quetta or Balochistan for 5 days, and then you moved to?
And after that, I took a train to move to Faisalabad.
Faisalabad,
Why,
yeah.
why would you go to Faisalabad?
To
Do you know people there?
to skip Balochistan with this and do it faster because I don't have too much time to be here,
Okay.
so I wanted to visit as
So
much
did you
as I
even
can.
ask somebody that, you know, after Quetta, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Or you were just on your own doing things, whatever comes to your head?
Yeah, it's more like this. I'm flowing. I'm flowing. Yeah, I don't have fixed plans. I don't like them.
So what's on your schedule next? Are you going to
Nah.
see so many pretty places of Pakistan
I
as well?
would really like to go north.
You have to, you
yeah,
have to,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But you had plans to go tonight, right?
Yes, I have planned to go tonight, but I don't have my visa extension yet, so
Okay.
I need that.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
What about you? Have you been to the north?
I have. I
How
made
was
He's
a,
been on a bike.
I took a motorbike from Islamabad
Wow.
to Swat, Kumrat, Chitral, and all through the Gilgit-Baltistan as
Wow.
well for 3,000 kilometers. And it
Oh
was,
God, that's amazing.
So,
It
it's,
was, yeah.
so it's been only 2 months that you're here
yeah.
to do your medical elective. And for 1 month, you've been riding a bike, being in the north.
Have you been studying or not?
How do you do that?
Yeah, it's a good point. But I was when I was in the north, I visited some small Aga Khan hospitals
Okay.
and
Okay,
the
perfect.
Reinhold Messner Hospital in Rupal region. So there was I did do some medical things as well.
So you were
Don't lie
practicing
to
sort
us.
of.
Don't lie to us.
It's perfectly all right. Okay, but now coming down to the cuisines you've tasted so far. So while you were in Balochistan, over here in Pakistan, we have very diverse kind of culture, and we have different dishes. You know, because if we go out in different provinces, you know, everybody's going to have their own special.
Yeah, yeah.
So what have you eaten so far? What did you eat in Faisalabad? What did you eat in Quetta precisely?
Well, with the names, I'm not so good. My memory is like.
Okay, no
But
problem. We'll help you
I
out.
hope you're not going to say biryani.
Yeah,
I asked them, they were not, you guys didn't try biryani, right?
biryani was the one.
The spicy
Rice
rice.
and
Ah,
spicy
the spicy rice,
with
yes, but
chicken or mutton.
no, I tried it. The thing is that for me, almost everything is spicy. I'm not used to this.
So what
Spicy
else did
rice.
you eat then?
I tried one that has like bread in the bottom and chicken. That was delicious. They use also a kind of red sauce.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I said, "Oh
That
my
it
God,
was-
this red sauce will be so spicy." I know it was kind of sweet. And it was
Okay,
That
it
was
was
perfect.
perfect.
really good.
What about you, Edward?
I've tried everything. My favorite was the mutton karai in Namak Mandi, Peshawar.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh,
You
wow.
were vegetarian. Tell them that. Till he arrived to Pakistan,
He was a vegetarian.
he was a vegetarian.
I was a vegetarian in New Zealand, and then when I arrived in Pakistan, a friend invited me for Eid in Swat Valley,
Okay.
and this destroyed my vegetarianism.
No, wait. Okay, wait. So was that the first time you were eating meat in Pakistan, or like ever?
It was the first time I'd eaten meat in 2 years.
In 2
Okay.
years. Oh, that's all right then.
Yes.
That's so before 2 years, you know, for the last time when you had chicken, you said, okay, I'm going for vegetables now for the next 2 years, and then you moved to Pakistan, and then here you are having
Yeah.
mutton because we love mutton and chicken
We
and
love all
every
sorts
sort
of
of
meat,
protein
yes.
too as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, since you guys are traveling, so and what I believe is that when you travel, you learn the most. You know,
Oh,
no university can teach you that, no mother or father can teach you that, no friends can teach you that. So, and while you are traveling, there are these different experiences which teach you a great lesson for your life. I want you to share yours, and then we'll move on to Edward.
Oh, well, lot of things, guys, because you are meeting, for me, one of the most amazing things about traveling is this about connect with people. And
But do they also leave an impact on your personality? Probably. Do you grow a lot because when you travel?
yeah,
As a
for me,
person?
I'm challenging myself every day. It's like I'm pushing myself to
Greater
to
extents every day.
yeah, to improve myself too. Like being here for me is a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge, and
But you're doing it perfectly.
thank you.
Because you know what happens is that, for example, even if you are in London or somewhere else and you have to look for an underground, you know, train, you know, I get confused. You know, I probably might have tears in my eyes too as well. That you know,
Yes.
I'm going to miss it. So you know, you get these panic attacks.
But
And for people who are traveling for so long that you know they've visited, this is your 20th country in a straight go, you might have gone through some stressful days and nights too. Share
Yeah.
one of those. And how did you get out of
Oh,
it?
well, many times happened to me that I had to face to people, maybe families, complete families,
Yeah.
that they don't speak one word in English. Of course,
Right,
not
right.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
And you know, this is something that I'm learning every day, and I really enjoy it. It's like a game for me that I have to try to communicate with all of them, but without English words. So it's like, okay, what can I do? It's body language, smiles, and
So you,
body
have, you,
language.
have you also picked on some sign language for people?
Lot. So it's great, and I have to think, okay, I have to explain this in this way. Oh, they didn't understand me, so I have
Maybe
to
I'll
change
try
and do
another
like
way,
this.
right.
And it's amazing, but at the end of the day, I'm
It's
like,
also hard.
Okay, that's
it
cool.
demands a lot of energy.
Yeah, but I've got a different, it's a very different question, and I'm certainly not sure whether I should be asking this or not, but I'm going to ask it.
Yeah, anyway.
So what I've seen in most of the majority of the films, when people, they're out there and they're traveling, they usually fall in love too as well. So you know, they find their soulmates. And I mean, this is how films work, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So
true.
what about you? Did you get to see somebody who you think that you know is going to be your life partner or something like
Well,
that?
no, not about life partner, but at least my moment partner. Yes, I was traveling with a friend that I met on the way for some months.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were great together.
You guys were clicking probably in the right, you know, resonating on the right frequency.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
It
That
was
was the
it
right
was
word.
a really good connection, but
Okay, so let me move on to Edward, because Edward, we take pride because of the fact that, you know, that they say that Pakistani men and women both are very amazingly beautiful and handsome too as well. So did that happen to you? That
Or we'd
you,
love to believe that.
that you fell in love with somebody over here while working or while you were traveling, and you thought that, you know, probably, you know, if she could be my wife, I think that's going to be great. Because you're
But
becoming
too
a doctor
extreme,
too
but
as well. you
we're
know?
just
So
pushing
the
our luck.
future is secure.
I agree that the Pakistani people are very beautiful, and especially because they're so diverse. Like in northern regions, they're looking very different, and I think this is really amazing. But I didn't fall in love with anyone. Sorry.
You did not? Okay, well, wait for it.
or is it back home? Is it back home?
Yes, that's back home.
Oh my God! That's my. Do you want to say anything to her? Please go ahead.
I don't think she's watching, but if she is, hello.
Because we go out in 64 different countries, I'm going to share the link with you so you can send it to her. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say something
Say
to her.
something.
What's her name?
Iona.
Iona. So Iona, and that comes
We're
from
so
Fiona
excited.
too as well, right?
I think it's an English name. It's
Yeah,
a name,
it is.
yeah.
Iona. Go ahead. What do you want to say? Do you want to be on
you
your
can
knees?
do it.
I just say hello and have a great day.
I think this is something which you say to her every morning otherwise as well.
Yeah, of course.
Say something different. You're
A
on
personalized
television.
message.
Okay.
Something very special. Okay,
I'll
let us
tell
just
her.
close our ears. Okay.
Yeah,
That I
we're
love
not
her.
here.
But say to
The
her.
world will.
Yeah, actually, I'm very happy because she just got a job the other day.
Oh, wow.
In the same town as me.
Perfect,
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, we have
Mabora.
So Iona, congratulations that you got the same job. You got the
same
job
city.
in the same town where Edward's not present right now, but it's perfectly all right.
exactly.
He will be back in a month's time. When are you going back?
I'm going back in November.
You're going back in November, so it's
Yeah.
not going to be that long. And once you
No.
go back, obviously, you know, you're going
Yeah.
to be a full-time psychiatrist. That's what it is.
No, I'm doing my house job in New Zealand.
Okay,
Yep.
you do your house job.
I'm doing my elective in psychiatry here, though.
Okay,
Okay,
that's great.
okay.
So you're having a great time. Now,
Absolutely.
Coming back to you. So, which countries do you intend to visit next?
Yeah, what's
and
next?
the best thing which I wanted to ask was, how long did it take you to save this much amount of money that you visited 20 countries in a streak?
Well, next after Pakistan, I will go to India, and after I want to do like the idea is going to Southeast Asia.
Okay.
I will try to come back to America, like the continent America,
yeah.
by ocean, also hitchhike a boat.
Okay.
We will try, but I don't have a fixed plan, as I told you, because things can change every day.
Yeah.
So, but the idea is going in that
So
direction.
for how long did you save money? To
Some
do all of
years,
this?
but the thing
Some
is that
years?
yeah, but my trip is a really low budget trip, so that
Okay.
is what makes me continue. If not, I
good.
cannot afford it.
Okay,
good.
that's great.
And
What about you?
what are your plans after you leave from November onwards? And do you intend to come back to Pakistan and see all of these people again?
I absolutely will be coming back here. I've totally fallen
Oh,
in
next
love.
time maybe you can bring Iona
Yeah.
with you.
Yes, she really wants to come. She does want to come
Oh,
I
back.
think
that's
that would be
brilliant,
great.
that's
But thank you very much, guys, for being with us.
We
It was
loved
lovely
having
having
you on the
you.
show.
The,
Oh,
you know,
thank
the
you.
energy was great too as well. Look at you, you're still smiling. That's great. And Edward, I'm very sorry, you know, that if I made you say things which you never wanted to
Oh, no, it's fine.
But it's perfectly all right. Thank you very much once again, and we love it.
Shukriya.
We love having guests
Shukriya.
over, you know, and this is what our culture teaches us as well. So no matter whoever is in our country are our guests as well. So thank you very much once again. Stay
Thanks to
safe,
you.
be blessed, and बहुत शुक्रिया.
बहुत
बहुत शुक्रिया
Shukriya.
मेहरबानी
Thank you very much for that, and for everybody who's out there. See, this is what life is all about. This is what we need to experience in our lives. And
Make
as I
impromptu
said,
plans.
yeah, as I said earlier, that you know, no university, no teacher, no parent can teach you what traveling can teach you. So, and as she said, Stephania, that you know that it's a very low budget, and imagine that within that low budget, she's actually made sure that she visited 20 countries and she's moving on. She's not going back home.
Yeah.
So anybody and everybody can do that. It's just that you need to have confidence.
Absolutely. So if there's anything you need to write to us or add to our conversation, write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well, this morning.
Twitter,
Well, this morning with RG.
Dailymotion YouTube,
Well, this morning.
and the repeat is going to be at
5 past 11 p.m. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.